Several years ago, I decided to get my motorcycle license. And what was really interesting is all the things that I learned in that course, because we had to take a 20-week course to even get our beginner's license. And what was really interesting is the things that I learned related to driving a motorcycle applies to life and to business really, really well. So the first thing they teach us at the motorcycle course is to dress the part. So in other words, it's essential when you're going to be driving a motorcycle that you have proper gear. So they suggested a leather jacket of some kind, preferably with padding like I've got now with the shoulders and the elbows. And obviously a motorcycle helmet with a visor and gloves. So just as in business, I think it's important we have proper equipment. And I find there's a lot of people who operate with sub-grade equipment. So either if it's going to be in just business in general, old machinery and things like that always break down or don't do the job properly. Or if you're in an office environment like an accounting firm, that you have the proper hardware and software to do the job properly. So equipment is extremely important. The second lesson was then to think about looking in the future. And because motorcycle accidents are extremely painful on the rider and can more easily lead to serious injuries and death, safety and all that is essential. And one of the things they taught us from early on and was hammered in all the time was to look as far ahead in the future as we can. So what they're suggesting that we do is when we get on the motorcycle, that we look down the road and we keep a close eye on things that are happening far away that could be problematic and be and lack in our safety. So one of the things that we learned to do is there something going on in the future that we need to be concerned about today that we can react today before it's too late? But in business, it's the same thing. And I find too many business owners are too short-sighted. They don't look in the future as to what's going to happen and are therefore not prepared for it. So I think it's important that we start thinking today about the end of the year after, and possibly 2-3 years down the road, and of course, to some degree, even further than that. So we got to think ahead, just as in the motorcycle, we look down the road as far ahead as we can see to see if there's anything that we should be reacting to right now. The other thing that they teach us as well is to keep an eye on the rearview mirror. In other words, see what's happening behind us to see if there's anything that could possibly harm us in the future. Now, in business, of course, looking back is not this kind of the same, but I find too many people don't look at their financial statements because financial statements will give you historical activity. And from those historical activity, you can therefore learn how to better react in the future. So looking back is also a good idea in business. And one of the things we learned in motorcycle that was really strange and interesting, and I realize it's also true in life, is that the motorcycle will go where you're looking. So one of the things they had us do is drive around pylons and all of that and making all kinds of turns. And one of the things they told us to concentrate on is to look at where we were going. And as a novice rider, what we tended to do was to look at the pylons that we wanted to avoid. And whenever we looked at the pylons, sure enough, you'd hit the damn thing. So it was really interesting to see how the motorcycle would go wherever I was looking. And they kept teaching us, look at where you want to go, and the motorcycle will kind of just go there by itself. And it's a really strange thing to learn, is to not look at the pylons that you want to try and avoid, but look at where you want to go, which was between the pylons. But I think in business, to some degree, it's a little bit like that. You have to look at where you want to go, and you concentrate on where you want to be in 1, 3, 5, 6, 10 months, whatever. And I find that if you concentrate on where you want to be, where you want to go, that you're kind of naturally going to move in that direction because the mind's going to take you wherever it's going. So you got to control where the mind is going. So one of the things that I found that was extremely true on the motorcycle, and even if any of you have done snowboarding, it's the same thing. You have to look as to where you want to go, and you're kind of make your way there. But in business, it's the same thing. It's important that you look at where you want to go, and you're going to kind of naturally go there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's sharing my experience as a motorcycle driver. I don't have much of it yet, but there are some tremendous parallels between driving a motorcycle and being in business. So if you found this video useful, please subscribe and share with everybody that you know. And stay tuned for more videos coming up.